Why did Lord Rama, despite being a god, let his wife Sita be abducted and forced into Ravana's captivity, aka his Bang palace, aka his bed? Is he a total failure of a god? Before I receive any hate, to be clear from the start, this is the kind of claim I definitely have not made, but Rama haters, critics, and counter readings often make or strongly imply. It may or may not be true depending on how you interpret the story. And this video is not claiming that as a settled fact. This is a speculative video that leaves room for interpretation and what-if thinking. The point is to explore why some people come away from the Ramayana with a disturbing conclusion. What if the real shock of the Ramayana is not that Ravan was evil, but that Ram was never meant to look perfect once you stare at Sita's pain for too long? What if the story people call the tale of ideal man becomes something very different the moment you stop looking at the crowns, bows, war and victory, and start looking at one woman who keeps paying the price for everybody else's idea of honor? For most people, Ram is the perfect king and ideal man, the face of divine order. But then you look at the plots modern readers cannot ignore. Sita is kidnapped, Sita waits, Sita suffers, Sita is rescued, and then unbelievably, Sita is the one who must prove herself again and again. And that's where the image begins to crack really quickly. Now, the Ramayana does not literally present Sita and Ravana as lovers. That's not what the core story says. But the emotional accusation behind that kind of title is darker than their literal claim. It asks something else. If your wife is taken, held in another man's palace, dragged through humiliation, and then when you finally win her back, you make her prove herself to you, did you really save her? Or did you fail her twice? Because if Rama is God, people expect him to be better than gossip, politics, suspicion and cruelty. But in the story, he often looks trapped by those very things. He wins the war and still loses the woman. He defeats Ravana and still cannot defend Sita from the judgment of his own people. He can cross oceans, command entire armies and bring down Lanka, but he cannot protect his wife from rumor. Maybe Ram is not written to be emotionally victorious. Maybe he is written to be the man who chooses public duty over private love. And that is exactly why modern readers feel betrayed by him. Now look at the pattern. Sita is abducted. Ram grieves. He fights to get her back. So far, this looks like heroism. But after Ravan is defeated, the reunion does not feel warm, does it? It feels cold, suspicious, almost illegal, performative. The woman who was stolen now has to defend herself as though she is the accused. That single move changes everything. Suddenly, the war does not look like the rescue of a wife. It starts to look like the restoration of male honor first, and only then the restoration of love. That's why so many Hindus and modern readers end up saying, Sita suffers more than anyone in a story that is supposed to glorify Ram. What kind of perfection keeps demanding proof from the person who already suffered the most? Then it gets even worse. Public gossip rises, doubt spreads, and Ram, instead of standing beside Sita and saying enough, sends her away, pregnant, alone, exiled not by her enemy, but by her own husband. That's the moment many readers stop seeing Rama as a loving man and start seeing him as the servant of reputation. Not truth, not love, reputation. So what is he then? The ideal husband or the ideal king? The story seems to answer that question brutally. He's the king first, always. Even when kingship crosses intimacy, even when order crosses mercy, even when dharma leaves the person closest to him broken. That's why the title works as a provocation. They are really saying this. Rama let Sita endure the worst humiliation imaginable and then treated her like the one under suspicion. In that particular moral sense, they believe he failed her. Now add the Vali episode and the discomfort grows really quickly. Rama kills Vali from hiding. Defenders explain it. Critics call it strategic, political, even deceitful. Either way, it is one more episode that makes people ask whether Rama's morality is absolute or just useful when it serves a larger goal. Then the debate widens. Did Ram eat meat? Some readers say yes, pointing to older readings of the text. Others try to protect a larger devotional image of a pure vegetarian divine prince. about who Rama is allowed to be, about whether the oldest version of the story is being reshaped by later devotion. The same thing happens with Uttarakhanda, the section that contains some of the hardest material, including Sita's exile and Shambhuka episode. Some say those parts are later additions. If they are, then a new possibility opens up. Maybe later tradition did not just preserve Ram, maybe it made him harsher, maybe it turned a heroic figure into a more severe symbol of social order. That would mean modern readers are not only arguing about Ram, they are arguing about which Rama they inherited. Then comes the holy demon, Ravana. This is where the counter story becomes really powerful. Ravan is the villain, that is the classical frame. But villains who are learned, proud, devoted, powerful, musical, and tragic often attract attention in ways pure heroes do not. Ravan feels alive, Ravan burns, Ravan wants, Ravan loses absolutely everything. Ram, by contrast, can feel distant, disciplined, and controlled. So in many modern retellings, people start asking dangerous questions. Was Ravan more compelling, more passionate, more unforgettable? Did he in his twisted way desire Sita more fiercely than Ram defended her emotionally? Now, that doesn't make Ravan right. It does not make the abductor noble. But it explains why some audiences drift towards him. Ravan is dramatic, Rama is restraint, Ravan is fire, Ram is law. Some sectarian readings even say Ram needed Shiva's help through Hanuman. These are polemical readings, but they survive because many people already feel that Ram wins through allies and armies, while Hanuman carries the heart of the story. And that might be the most devastating point of all. The most beloved figure in Ramayana is often not Rama, it is Hanuman. The most pitied figure is Sita. The most fascinating figure is Ravan. So where does that leave Ram? In the center, yes, but not always in the heart. So what if the real answer is this? Ram was not made to be emotionally satisfying. He was made to stand for rule, order, sacrifice, restraint, kingship and duty. That means he was always going to look cold the moment later generations began asking modern questions about love, equality, compassion, and emotional loyalty. The more modern the audience becomes, the more painful Ram becomes. That's why some people call him ideal and others call him a total failure as a god. Not because he loses the war, he wins the war. Not because he cannot defeat Ravan, he does defeat Ravan. But because he wins the outer battle and loses the inner one. He restores the kingdom but not the marriage. He rescues Sita physically but not emotionally. He defeats evil publicly, he allows suspicion to poison love privately. For many readers, that's the deeper defeat. So maybe the darkest way to read the Ramayana is not that Rama was weak or fragile. It's that he was strong in exactly the wrong way for the people who needed him the most. Strong enough to conquer Lanka, not strong enough to stand against society for Sita. Strong enough to uphold duty, not strong enough to break duty in the name of mercy. That is why the story still burns, because once you stop asking whether Rama was victorious and start asking whether Sita was ever truly protected as a wife, the whole epic changes shape really quickly. The hero remains standing, the crown remains on his head, the divine title remains intact, but the silence around Sita becomes louder than the victory, and in that silence, the question returns. Did Rama save her or truly love her, or did he fail her in one way that mattered the most?